This is always a little awkward moment where I don't know if I'm live or not. Okay, all right. I'm live. Hello, and welcome to the third exploration in the Expressed series. Today, we are talking all about why your soft and true expression really, really matters. I'm going to talk about what that means, soft and true, what I mean by that. I'm going to talk about why you're the perfect channel to talk about, to express. It's not only talking, to express what you're called to express here in the world. And 3, we're going to talk about why the world is really wanting and needing your particular brand of expression. So, and then if we have time, we're also going to go into what is the Soft and True program that I am relaunching, the fall edition. If you know you're called to Soft and True, just let me know, okay? No pressure, but we can iron out a few things, like whatever questions you may have. Okay, so let's get into it. Whoever is here live with me, say hi. Is it Laurence? I am going to see if I can see the comments today, because that would be very helpful. So far, no. I'm going to try it in a different way. Close. Okay, cool. Ah, Danitza, hi. Hi, it's great to see you. Okay, let's dive into it. So, little recap, we have talked about how there's this sort of social map in all of our tribes, and in the moment we are in many different tribes, and if a tribe rejects you, it's not the end of the world. You don't actually die. Feels that way. Rejection hurts. Loneliness hurts. Feeling misunderstood is brutal, but your physical body does not perish. So, when you get really close to your values and really close to what you want your life to be about, the expression of that, there comes a question. Is this worth the risk of rejection, loneliness, being misunderstood? These came up a lot in our Temple of Truth sessions. Some groups I really drilled down with you. What are you afraid is going to happen? But when it comes down to it, the choice is simply, is this true enough for me to stand behind no matter what? And that truth really comes with your particular values. And we all value things that are very particular to us, things that we come into this world valuing. And they develop with life, they develop with experiences we go through. Excuse me, of course, losing my voice a bit. Let me just take a sip of my little mocha. And these values become more and more expressed as we go on through life, or more and more lost. And then our job is to go and find again what really lights you up, what turns you on. And these can be super abstract. Okay, so this can be like justice. I've always fought for justice, always stood up for the little guy, always faced bullies. Justice might be one of these. Another one might be empowerment. So I've always had conversations in such a way that the other gains power through this conversation, whether that is knowledge, whether that is understanding of themselves or something else in the world, whether that is giving them a tool. And empowerment just showed up as like a theme within your life, that just always you're coming back to that. It might be the spirit world and spirituality and being connected to all that is. Taking a stand for all of life. And maybe for you that expresses itself through a valuing of animals or pets in the animal kingdom. And throughout your life, as a little girl, maybe you were always finding bunny rabbits that needed rescuing and hamsters out of cats' mouths. This happened to us this summer. And like you get obsessed with like pet shelters and you dream of owning one. These are sort of themes throughout our life. And when they get a little bit lost in the fray of our lives of trying to do what we need to do in a very complicated system, the dark feminine starts calling. And she speaks the language of anxiety and rage and no and dissatisfaction and frustration, irritation, anger. She's got this brooding, dark quality to her. And that dark, brooding quality, that's not the truth, okay? So there's a really important distinction here. It's when we're lost from our truth, when we're divorced from our truest expression, that there is this process, this inner process that is trying to bring us back on track. But we are having a little fight within ourselves sometimes with the truth that wants to be expressed, what we really want to value, what we really value and want to live. So like a really romantic, passionate love affair, for instance, that through what we think the tribal rules are, we put that down. We say, no, I don't have that desire. I don't want to have that desire. But the desire is coming back up, except you're resisting. There's a fight. And it's that fight that is actually the anger. And is that fight, well, that's not entirely true. Let me be more precise. Is that fight that creates what we think of as the dark side of a human being. The part of us that we try not to express because it's not kind. And it's true. It's not kind. So I want to sort of dot the I's and cross the T's, because the way I was talking about the dark feminine on our last call, there may be some misunderstanding where I'm encouraging you to express your dark in those places where it's distorted. And that is not exactly precisely 100% true. What I'm encouraging you to do is become aware of those places in you where your inner destructress wants to come out. Become aware of what is it that she wants to destroy, what is it that needs to leave to make room for the truly generative, the truly creative. And my invitation for you is to sit through all of that discomfort, engage with it, and go and find what is it that you stand for underneath that raging feminine side. Let me say that again. So I don't want you to stop at the rage. That is not helpful for anybody. That is not soft for your system. And I've been there. I got confused about this for a while. And then I nourished this inner destructress, but it wreaks havoc on the system in some ways also. And so there are ways we can soften, we can honor, We can include even the wild destructress in us. We can let her teach us. We can let her point the way towards what wants to be created through us. We can, sit in the middle of all of that, be guided by this force without letting it take over our lives. Because if it's in the beginning, it can happen that, we're like, there's a dark feminine in me, like, let's go. And then we lose the precision of what we actually want to create, and we just dragging all around. Spitfire. And there are times when you're really backed into a corner, you need to do that because all the systems in your life are broken. But for the people in this group in September 2020, I know that's most of you, that's not the case. You do not need to burn your whole life to the ground. You don't. So it's learning to harness that energy with precision. And that can really sound, so once you move through all of that psychic material of the quote unquote, the shadowy dark places, there are gems underneath. So that's why I asked you yesterday, what is it that she is wanting to destroy? But what is it that she is a stand for behind that? What is it that she wants to grow? What is it that matters to her? And so now we're really getting into the good topic of how to be soft and true. Okay? Now, for a long time, the models of feminine leadership that I thought I had wasn't truth at all, okay? But were women who were standing more in either their masculine or more into this destructive feminine that was really a voice of pain and anger, without going beyond it like I'm inviting to. And it wasn't pretty. And it's not magnetic. It's not attractive. And there's a sense in me that it lost something beautiful about being feminine. And early in the pandemic, I hired a healer, and at some point she says, feminine leadership is actually really soft. And it blew something open in me, where I reclaimed the softness of my femininity. Seems like a crazy thing to have lost, but when the dark calls, it's a tricky thing to navigate. So softness together with truth is a combination that moves worlds, truly. Amaya shared a headline on Forbes saying that what the countries who have done the best job with the coronavirus are women leaders. And there's something really interesting about that. So the softness is reclaiming for me, softness is reclaiming the whole. It's standing in gentleness and compassion and healing. And that means that if I stand for me, genuinely, softly, truly, I also stand for you. And this is, I believe, the stance we need to develop if at a large scale, if we're going to really do something substantial about climate change. Every single decision needs to be a stand for all of life. And that is the softness. The softness is that tender awareness that I am you and you are me, and taking care of you is taking care of me, and taking care of me is taking care of you. And so when we lean into our expression, when we lean into what our life is, what our truth is to be expressed, how our life is to have an impact, who we are to have an impact, to ripple beyond who we are. We need to know, first of all, that we are not bad. And that destructive, darker feminine in us is also not bad. She is often in pain and angry and sees something. She has an amazing radar for where are we separating? Where are we hurting existence? Hurting, so we can better herd it with a D. So we can better be a better steward for our families, our households, our communities, our cities, our planet. This is what this is about. Your expression is going to have an impact no matter what. And the crone in you has severe wisdom and intuition, and she can see what others cannot. And she's a fierce stand. She is a fierce stand for all of life. So what does it mean to navigate your expression if we bring it back to the micro level, where your fierce destructress wants some time alone? Your relationship feels like it's suffocating. People are always asking things of you, and it's starting to brew inside of you that there's something out of balance, and it's starting to feel irritated and angry and wildly, you could roar. So in that instance, there's your inner crone is saying something is out of balance. Something's not right. And if you listen deeper, she might help you see you carving out space for you again is going to empower everybody around you. Get them out of their dependency cycle with you. Now, with young children, I imagine this wouldn't apply. I'm talking about different adults, okay? It's going to empower them. Your wise crone knows that even if they'll get angry with you, even if they will talk behind your back, even if they reject you a little bit out of their tribe, what you stand for, which is every single person's right to breathe for a moment, to be in their own existence. Knowing what you stand for allows your body to soften and allows your body to say, no matter what, I stand for this. This is what I value. This is what I would like the whole world to understand. I am being the change I want to see in the world. And if that means I'm rejected, if that means I lose my job, lose this particular job, so be it. Because I can stand by what I value. And then you might get terrified. And you might have all these thoughts of how am I going to pay for things? How am I going to be the provider for my family, etc., etc. And then the real work begins. You get to soften all of that. So that might mean you need to do some work on your worthiness. It might mean you polish up your CV, you get your sort of inner warrior out and you say, I am worth more than this, and I'm going to take a stand for what I stand for, and if bad things happen as a result, I will be ready. What else might you do? You might work it through enough in yourself that you can express it to your colleagues in such a way that they are relying on you too much. If you leave, they're going to be completely out of sorts. You cannot stand by that. And therefore, I don't know, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. is a no open door policy. You need to work on the deep things you need to work on. And if somebody comes in that time, it's a hard no. And you get to express that boundary in a way that is really soft and really true and stands for something, and that allows nobody to get triggered. Well, they might get triggered, but when you stand for something in this way, that they don't go into a whole story of how you're such a B or such a horrible person and the worst and never available, etc. So you get to express your boundaries in a way that it's standing for something rather than against something. You express your boundaries in a way that it's for the other person that you're expressing a boundary to also. Because when you stand for yourself, you stand for everybody when it's true. And so as you do that work, you do your own worthiness work, you do your helping your inner child who is freaking out, and you just stay steadfast to the truth. That's how you're soft and true. So that is what I take you through in Soft and True. So we don't just talk about these things, but for 9 weeks, you've got me really on your side in the group program anyway, to help you do that in your actual life. There's also a self-study program. And so you don't have me by your side, but you have all the tools. And it takes you through a 9-week journey where you get clear on what you stand for. You get clear on where are the standards of your life not being met. How do you raise them? What happens when you raise them? What comes up? Your unworthiness, your inner child, it can be many, many, many things. Your inner doubter. And we navigate you out of that and into your softest, truest expression. So if you think you might be interested, I am inviting my past participants to come talk about their experience. So 4 p.m. is the first one, and then 11:30 on Monday is the next one. It's going to be live. There's no prep. I want this to be as genuine and real as possible. And you can ask them questions. So that's the soft and true piece. Now, there's the next part. Why are you the perfect channel? Why are you the perfect channel to talk about, to express what you value in the world? Okay, so I can value empowerment, and you can value empowerment, and the next person can value empowerment. And my life has my wonderful mess in it. My places where there's a lack of empowerment. My people that I can help empower by expressing and communicating things in a certain way and modeling that. My life has my history, my experience, my studies of psychology and positive psychology and mindfulness and neuropsychology and energy medicine, and also my particular history of like completely going batshit crazy when I had my first boyfriend, and the struggles I'm still having around managing a household with my husband and being a real team with him. And there's my personal struggles around teamwork and partnership, and where people want to partner with me in business, and I'm very hesitant. So all of these places are my personal little places of mess, if I can call them that, where expressing this value of empowerment is going to change those aspects of my world. And when you gather the resources that you have already accumulated in your life, all the random things that you've gone through, the random things that you've studied, start to make sense. You start to get to put them together in a way that is so unique and irresistible. And it gets super magnetic and super attractive. But if you're trying to be the generic cookie cutter, whatever it is that you're trying to be, I think all three of you listening have at least some ambitions in doing your own thing and having your own business and your own thriving business. This is the thing that you really give service to the world through. Maybe that's not the only thing you do, and that's super fine. But when I was trying to be a run-of-the-mill cookie cutter Reiki practitioner, I liked it, but it wasn't like now. Now I've been looking back and I'm saying, ooh, this Soft and True is also very rooted in psychology. And for one of the first times, I'm really bringing in all the best tools that I've ever used in the last 10 years of being on this path and even before. And they're unique to me. They're things that worked really well for me. And I'm giving those tools to you. And I'm judging by our first round, they were effective. They really, really brought them to their next level. And so what you can start doing is looking at your past, the random things that you did. How can they express this value? And so, Laurence, I'm thinking of you with the super cute knits that you're doing, with your anthropology background. I don't know, there might be ways that you honor certain cultures and certain ways of doing, and then you bring that into the story of it, you weave it in, and it becomes completely unique and completely quirky and completely priceless. Completely priceless for the right person. This is just a really random idea, but this is the kind of thing that you get to start thinking about. So being, a run-of-the-mill, a good Reiki practitioner, for instance, is great. And we're losing out on you. And I'm not going to stand for that. We're losing out on all the experiences that you've had, what you've moved through, what you know to move through, and that you get to guide others to do. Speaking with Allison yesterday, and there's some things that she went through that she's now called to express and bring that into her work, and it's going to be phenomenal. She also has a background in social work and Reiki with me, and when you tie these things together, when you stop trying to be only a version of yourself that you think is the acceptable version of yourself to do the thing you want to do, you really, we miss out. So there's the part where, Laurence, cool. When we mute our expression because we think things aren't relevant, we really dumb down and we impoverish our creations. And that's not cool. That's not cool. It's really not. And the world that you are in, the people that you are connected to, the people that are thinking of buying something that you make, all of that they're not waiting for me to go make the thing that you're making. No, they're waiting for it from you. They want your precise codes. They want your precise way of putting things together. And so when we start thinking about things like this, competition becomes completely irrelevant. My unique way is completely different than your unique way, and we might value the exact same thing. So you saying, oh, Inga already values empowerment and she's already like doing things around empowerment, I'm going to leave that one to her. No, stop robbing the world. Not cool. You do your work. You value empowerment on your side. You bring it into your world. The world needs you to do that. This is how we change the world. And we already are. Okay, I'm getting really intense. But we already are doing all of this. So now the invitation is to become more conscious, more steadfast, more clear, and more soft, more soft in our truth. Because it doesn't all have to be traumatizing and scary. What I found is that my fear will always tell me, if you say this, your relationship is going to die. If you say this, your business is going to die. If you say this, you're going to lose your house. I don't know. It gets catastrophic in there, and I know I'm not alone. And then I do my work, I soften, I know that I stand for that no matter what, and I do the thing. No. Okay, sometimes there's some discomfort, there's some conflict. There's the status quo is challenged, about to break, it's a little uncomfortable. But do the bad things that my fear was telling me happen? No. Proof. It's been 10 years that I'm with Sean, pretty much on the day now. And I've had 2 of those moments a year where I'm sure this is it. We're done. No, it just gets better every single time. So that's where I need to leave it today. It's 9:15. I have a phone call already. It's a crazy day today. But please, I'm going to not close the experience of Expressed today. I'm going to maybe close it on Monday. So if you haven't done your introduction, do your introduction. If you haven't listened to the videos and asked your questions, ask your questions, etc., etc., etc. There's going to be a prompt today. I don't know exactly what it's going to be just yet. I'm going to let all of this move. But I'm also going to announce right here that if you want in for Soft and True, the group program is a sliding scale between 1,600 and 2,100. And if that's a bit steep for you, there's a way to get a $100 sort of automatic scholarship if you express yourself in a big way in the next weekend. So tell us the story here, and this can also be a social media post. Tell a story that you haven't yet told. Claim something and tag me in it. Say that it's for Soft and True, and then the minimum payment will be $1,500 instead of $1,600. So there's that option. Okay. I cannot wait to see what moves through here and what you received from this video. Bye.